Joshua Buatsi versus Pawel Stepien. This one is happening May 6th over in the UK. This wasn't an opponent that I thought Buatsi was going to be facing next, and for being 100% honest, but let's get into it. Let's start with Buatsi. 16 wins, 0 losses, 13 wins by way of knockout. Right now, he's got a lot of momentum on his side. Since 2020, he stepped up the competition, the level of competition. And there's been moments where he has been tested, right? Moments when he had to dig deep, right? Moments when we were going to see what he was made of, right? When he fought Marko Calic, who was undefeated at the time, he was tough, a little crafty, good size, good length, and took the fight to Buatsi, right? He had Buatsi's eye almost closed, landed some good shots, and was having success with that overhand right. So now Buatsi was faced with adversity and how he was going to respond and how he was going to make adjustments, and can he stay composed and still be in the fight, not get too emotionally attached to the fight, that he doesn't forget his game plan, right? It's kind of like when that happened, Buatsi stepped up the pressure and the pace and became more accurate, more sharp with the shots, and landed some big overhand rights and went on to get the stoppage win. But it was a fight that you kind of got to see Buatsi tested a little bit more, but you got to see that toughness. He's got a mean streak to him, and he's tougher than most people think. And that's what you want to see, how a person responds to adversity. Buatsi is a good finisher at that. He knows how to close out the show when he's got his opponents hurt. So after that fight, he goes to fight Ricards Blatniks, a guy who is, I would say a bit of a litmus test, right? Because Blatniks, he is tough. He's strong, he's durable, and if you take out Blatniks, that's kind of saying something because of how he fights. He's kind of sneaky with his approach and a little crafty, and he's a guy you have to break down round to round, and not really a guy that you can just bulldog your way through, because you'll get caught. And Buatsi tried that, and he did get caught with some big shots. But I thought he fought very well in that fight. I thought he boxed very well, used his jab to set up his shot, because we know he's got power. We know he's got that natural athleticism, but he showed that he can beat his opponents differently. But the one thing that he needed to work on in that fight to me was the head movement, right? Because when you're going up against the higher level competition, they are going to find your weakness and they're going to expose it and they're going to target that. So for me, it was just like, man, it was a great solid win. Joshua Buatsi, you took out a tough, durable guy like Blatniks, that straight right hand on the chin, and he dropped him. But I'm like, man, you're going to have to tighten up that defense, because as the competition steps up, they're going to find those weaknesses. You're going to have to be able to make adjustments and make adjustments on the fly. Now, in his most recent fight, right, the fight that was the biggest test for me, when he fought Craig Spider Richards, what a sweet nickname, right? But a guy who's been in the ring with Dimitri Bivol and did very well, right? This was going to be a true test for Buatsi to see if he can fight on that elite level and what he will look like and stand on that elite level. This was a great fight between two warriors, right? It was an exciting fight. Buatsi, the younger, faster, stronger, more athletic fighter, and Richards, the more crafty, experienced, poised fighter. Both men have very good moments. When Richards was fighting on the outside, using his jab and looping shots in, he was having a lot of success. When Buatsi found the openings and got in close, he would use his size to his advantage, hit the body and hit the head, fire off combinations. Then Richards would respond shortly after that with some form of shot that backed Buatsi up. This was a fight to me where both men were equal in skill set. They had their strengths in one area, had their weakness in area, but a fight that, man, this was a true 50-50 fight. And sometimes in fights like that, it's not so much about the skill, but more about the will and the heart, allowing that to carry you through. On that night, Joshua Buatsi landed the more eye-catching shots. He was the busier fighter, and once he got on the inside, he was more effective and was able to slow the fight down. However, in that 8th round, I think it was, he got over-aggressive, over-committed, and the experience under pressure that Craig Richards has over his career clipped him with a nice uppercut that stumbled him, and Buatsi's heart kept him up. when his legs were a little wobbly. Again, it was a very good fight, a very exciting, entertaining fight, right? And a fight that showed Buatsi doesn't just have the skill and the talent, but he has the heart and the spirit. And that can be the thing when it's tough, when you need a little bit more, that you can go to and dig deep and find and pull out. But here's the thing that was a little bit interesting to me, because after that fight, it seemed like he wanted to fight Dimitri Bivol. He wanted to fight for a championship. So it was an interesting segue into this fight. But let's talk about his opponent. Pawel Stepien, 18 wins, 0 losses, 1 draw, 12 wins by way of knockout. If I'm being honest, this is not a name that I am familiar with. This is the first fight out of his home country of Poland. All his fights have been in Poland. And from my personal experience in the professional settings, man, it is a lot to go into a country that you're not familiar with and try and stay locked in doing what you have to do. Because when you're in a new country, you're not in familiar territory. So you're actually uncomfortable. And a lot of people don't handle uncomfortableness very well. So that will be something that he will have to take in mind. Not to mention, this is probably the biggest crowd that he is going to be fighting in front of. There's a lot that comes with the limelight. Not everybody's ready for that. But again, this is all things that Stepien is going to have to combat with, and he's going to have to find familiar ground in unfamiliar territory. But it also helps when you're an undefeated fighter and you haven't lost before. So there's a confidence that you walk around with coming inside of the ring. Now, from the tapes, he's got good size, good reach. He's got 12 knockouts, so he's got good speed and he's got good power in his shots. I've seen him hurt opponents to the body, and I've seen him hurt opponents to the head. He's not stiff in his footwork. He's a little fluid, right? In the ring, moves well, covers up decently. Not a lot of head movement, though, and I think that could be a problem. He's also not a fast starter, uses his jab well enough, but to me, he's a guy that likes to fight on the outside where he can stick and move and follow up with the straight hand and get himself out of danger, because he's not much of a combination puncher. He's smart. He's tactical. He doesn't overcommit. He takes what's given to him and he makes it count. I'm interested to see what he does look like against a guy like Joshua Buatsi, because he hasn't fought a guy like Joshua Buatsi before. He's going to be tested here. And I think he can give Buatsi a good fight. I don't think he's the caliber of fighter like a Craig Richards, but Stepien seems like a guy where you just can't overlook him, right? And he can make this fight a lot tougher than it needs to be if Joshua Buatsi doesn't go in and respect his opponent. This is a guy, to me, where you're going to have to break him down mentally first before you break down his body. So we'll see what happens. So who wins? I'm taking Joshua Buatsi to win this fight. I've seen what Buatsi can do and has done against opponents with a very good skill set. I haven't seen that of Stepien, and some of the guys that he's fight with their records, I wouldn't say it's the most impressive records. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. It's going to be a great test. Can he rise to the occasion away from home? We don't know that yet, but I know he will have to get Buatsi's respect. Something I don't think that he's going to get. So I'm going with Joshua Buatsi to win this one by KO, TKO, some form of stoppage. What are your thoughts on this fight? Who do you have winning this one? Let me know in the comment section below. If you would like to support the channel, there's a couple ways you can do so. You can like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you would like to support by way of donation, you can find options in the description below. Also, my Cash App handle will be on screen as well. Any amount goes towards the growth of this channel and will be greatly appreciated. Recently just started a membership on the channel. I don't always get to do all of the suggested videos that you guys put in the comments, but if you become a member, those suggested videos rise to the top, and I will do my best to make those videos for you. Or if you would just like to be a member to just support the channel, that would be greatly appreciated as well. Shout out to all of the members supporting the channel already. Shout out to everybody that continues to watch, like, subscribe, share to the channel. I really appreciate you as well. So with all that being said, if you've been watching the video this long, do me a favor and subscribe to the channel, and we'll definitely see you next time.